Good morning YouTubes, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the country, in the world, or whatever time of day it is you're watching this drivel. Yeah, it's just popped my visor down, it's a bit windy. How is everybody today? Hope you're all good. It's January and it's double digit figures in the UK. Beautiful. Well, a storm come through last night, so I mean this video is probably going to be in a couple of weeks or a week or so, so you might have already seen the storm stuff on the news. Yeah, well, a storm come through last night, plenty of wind and rain, but hopefully everybody is safe and well and repaired anything they need to repair. Oh, my sat-nav's talking in my ear. I'm on the old TomTom Go ride again today. Chucked in a random route, completely random, and it sent me sort of northeast from Ashford, and I thought, well, that looks alright, let's give it a go. So that's what I'm doing. But this morning I thought, Joe, I wasn't going to go for a ride today, and I chucked the telly on this morning, and the old suggestions, oh, we're turning left here, look at that, nice random little route. Look at this is perfect RS lane, look at it, beautiful. Yeah, put the old skybox on, and it said you know, suggestions, and one was Discovery Plus, and it was the actor Jason Momoa. You know the guy, he was on Game of Thrones. I haven't seen any of the films he's in, I don't think, but he was on Game of Thrones. I don't really know much about the guy, but there was a very short clip, but it was him with a motorcycle, it looked like an old Harley chop, so I thought, oh, do you know what, I'll give that a go. And it was absolutely superb. The bloke has got so much enthusiasm for motorcycles, old motorcycles. He's into his 1920s and 30s stuff. I've just got to turn my sat-nav off, she's annoying me, waffling in my ear. That means I have to keep an eye on the screen now. Yeah, absolute enthusiasm for old 30s Harley Davidsons, and he was basically, look at that dump there, fucking scumbags, that really pisses me off. Yeah, sorry for that little rant, but through his love of motorcycles he's met a few guys, and he was actually saying how happy he was that they've welcomed him into their little community, because you can imagine that being a famous film star has its drawbacks, because you don't know whether people like you because of who you are, they like you because of what you are. And for these famous guys it must be difficult to be accepted as a genuine person and not as the sort of the film star. But the whole programme was basically about him getting together with his mates to build a few bikes, to do a bit of hill climbing and just messing around on. And there was a certain old Harley, I can't remember what it was, HG, no, I don't know what it was anyway, but it was an old race bike, and apparently they built something like 10 of them, and he managed to find one, disassembled it, got it 3D scanned and reproduced. I mean, it must have cost an absolute fortune. I mean, it's got to be six figures. Yeah, you're talking about individual castings from 3D scans. But yeah, he did that, him and his mates fired them all up and went for a spin. And they seem to have sort of like this little club called the Roamers, and they got the old proper 1930s vests reproduced, and he handed them out to all his mates. And do you know what, it was just absolutely lovely, this programme, watching this fella who was obviously so passionate about motorcycles getting together with a few mates and blasting around. And I watched it and thought, yeah, let's get out on the bike, because as he says in the introduction, you know, he says get on a motorcycle, just, you know, I can't remember his exact words, but in my words, it just blows the cobwebs away. You know, the freedom of riding a bike and just tooting through the lanes, feeling the wind, you know, smelling the smells, all that sort of stuff. It's, for me, that's what motorcycling's about. You know, I love riding on my own, I love riding with my mates, you know, I love going on trips, going abroad, it doesn't really matter, because if you pull up at a cafe, there's always someone with a bike, and if you're on something interesting, they'll always come over and have a chat to you. So even when you're out riding, you're never really alone, you know, you're out with a few mates. But yeah, Discovery Plus, I think it's called On the Roam. Yeah, On the Roam, Jason Momoa, if that's how you say his name. Well worth watching. Yeah, recommended. There's a few of them. I think there's one where he does a bit of music and there's a bit of photography. I could only see two on the old telly box when I looked at it, but it was a bike one that I was interested in. I will watch the others because he seems just such a sort of an enthusiastic, passionate guy, to be fair. And I've been quite lucky to meet a few people like that. I met Keanu Reeves. I say I spent a day with him. He was at a track day I was at, and we spent the day chatting to him, and we had a few photos and shared fish finger sandwiches and all that sort of stuff. And if you hadn't have known that it was Keanu Reeves, he was just a normal bloke, absolutely lovely, normal bloke, out riding his bikes. He carried out a chat to us about the bikes, was quite happy taking a few photos. And a friend of mine, he had a friend who was going through a bit of a hard time, and he said to Keanu, look, I know this is taking a piss of it, and you're on a day out enjoying yourself. He was with Shaky Byrne. I'm sure if you're watching this you know who Shaky Byrne is. He said, you know, I don't suppose you'd mind recording just a little video for my friend. And he did. And my mate got his phone out, and Keanu sort of took a breath and cleansed his sort of I don't know, getting ready to perform, you know what I mean. And then he did this very short little clip and name checked the girl. Oh, I'm not going to name check on the video, but it was bloody brilliant. It really was good. What a bloke. And funny enough, a few weeks back I saw Shaky Byrne, and had a bit of a natter to him because we got a few mutual friends and stuff. And I sort of said to him, I said, oh, you know, you won't remember on the day, but we were in the garage next to you at Brands when Keanu was there with you, and we got chatting about it. And he said the same thing. He said, you know, if ever we're together or if ever he's in London, we always try and meet up and have a chat. And he said he's just so enthusiastic about bikes. And he said, you know, the funny thing was, he texted me the other day to basically message about the last of the BSB races, because he watches them in America, you know, and he's a real sort of enthusiast about racing and motorcycles and that sort of thing in general. Let's just go past these dog walkers nice and slow, see if they thank me. They probably won't, will they? Oh, he did, yeah. But yeah, people like that are they're just enthusiasts. So it got me thinking about the sort of group of friends I've got. And my oldest friends, sort of John, Simon, Neil, you know, Tony, all the sort of old friends that I've got from school days. We all met at school before we had motorcycles. Me and Simon, who's my oldest sort of longest friend, we've known each other since we were 7 years old, long before we had motorcycles. But somehow that little group, as my daughter calls them, friendship group, we were just a bunch of mates, but apparently we're a friendship group now. For some reason we all drifted into motorcycles. We all like the same sort of music, and I don't know how that really happens, because you know, well, I suppose with music it's people go, oh, have you heard this? And they bring around an album and you chuck it on your cheap record player and you go, fuck no, this is alright. But your group of friends all sort of stay your friends, and they all have the same interests, even though you don't realise you have the same interests. It's almost like there's some strange magnetic bond that brings like-minded people together. But I've got friends from all walks of life. I've got friends who are, you know, live in nice houses, drive nice cars. And I'm talking, you know, I'm not talking, oh, pheasants, you fucking mad bastards. I'm not talking, you know, nice. I'm talking about nice houses. You know, guys. One of my friends, you know, McLarens, Ferraris, all that sort of stuff. He works hard for his money. Don't get me wrong. He deserves every penny. He is a grafter. But when you get together, we just talk about bikes. you know, bikes and cars and stuff, and it's just a complete leveler where people that like that sort of stuff, they just like that sort of stuff and they don't really care. I was at I'm trying to think where I was at Coquel, the port, you know, the Channel Tunnel terminal, and there was a fellow with a trailer, car trailer on the back of his 4x4, and I got chatting to him and I sort of said, oh, you know, what you got in the back out of interest, and he showed me, and it was an old boat tail Bugatti. I mean, this thing must have been worth millions, but he was just chatting to me as if, you know, you're on the same sort of level, because, you know, you're a petrol head, motorhead as they call them in America, not to be confused with the Epic band. But he was just chatting to me, and he showed me this car, and he was chatting to me and, you know, going through the details with it, because he knew I was genuinely interested. And the seat, this old battered leather seat was in bits, and I said to him, are you going to do anything with the seat? And he said no. And he said, this car, now I can't remember which one it was, but it used to belong to one of the Campbell brothers, Donald or Malcolm Campbell. He said, excuse me, he said this was their car, and they've sat in that seat, so the seat stays as it is. And I'm looking at it, and he turned around to me and said, do you want to have a sit in it? And I was a bit taken back, to be fair. I was like, fucking hell, you know, some bloke's trusting me to, because you could see that I was, you know, I was massively impressed. There's another byway there. Look at that. 1st of October, 30th of April, except for access. Cool. That looks difficult. Oh, look at those bits there. Yeah, I might have a play with that another day. Well, 1st of April, I might have a play with that. But yeah, you could see how impressed I was. And he said, do you want to have a sit in it? And I thought about it, and I said, no, you know, I said I wouldn't want to damage it. Can you imagine something that you're wearing scratching? I mean, the car was, you know, it was patinaed beautifully, but can you imagine causing any more damage to it? I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. So I said no. I said I wouldn't want to damage it. He went, you know, it's a car. It's there to be enjoyed. It's there to be loved. It's there to be used. But I still didn't, just in case. Yeah, but that's what brings people, you know, together. I think, is that another byway? Let's just spin it round, which you can do with the RS. Look at this, just tuck it round nice and gently. God, that's windy up here. Oh, beautiful views. I don't know if you can see that. Let's have a bit of a pan around, shall we? Yeah, lovely. There's a few trees and stuff down here. So yeah, another byway. Look at that tree down. Yeah. I might have to have a look on the map when I get home, because I don't normally come out this way. It literally was just a case of go ride, give me a little cheeky route. But yeah, people that love cars and bikes, if you're an enthusiast, then they appreciate that. There's only one person I've ever met that wasn't like that. He was obviously a car enthusiast. He's a very famous actor. I'm not going to mention his name, because, well, the chances of him watching RS'ing about by some bloke down in Kent are pretty slim. But yeah, there was 2 Ferraris. I got chatting to a guy on one of them, and they were on their way back to the factory, having just picked up a LaFerrari, which, as anyone will know, was the Ferrari hypercar from 10 years ago. Yeah. And the first guy was in a Ferrari. Got chatting to him, lovely fella. I said, I take it you're with a guy that's behind you in the traffic. He said, yeah. He said, we just bought that together. He said, because they're a heap of money. We bought it together. So I said, oh, okay, which was quite interesting. And obviously, most people with money don't tend to. I think I'm going this way. Don't tend to talk about stuff being expensive, but this guy was quite happy, saying, yeah, it's a shed load of money, so we've gone halves on it. So anyway, I wander over and chat to the guy behind, and lo and behold, it's this famous actor who has appeared in various films as a caddish Brit, shall we say. And I said, "Oh, love your car." He just went, "Yeah." The total opposite of the guy who he was with, who could see that, you know, I love the car, and he was very happy to show it off to me, as opposed to the other guy who, should we say, wasn't quite so accommodating. Maybe he's on a bad day. Maybe I'm selling him short. But yeah, I've never met anybody else in the petrol world, bikes or cars, that haven't been willing to chat. As I said in a previous video, I did it with Freddie Spencer. If you don't know who Freddie Spencer is, then shame on you. Come on, Pheasant, which way are you going? Yeah, shame on you if you don't know who Freddie Spencer is. Absolute legend, the only man to win the 250 and 500 championships in the same year. And this was when the 500s, I mean, they called them, you know, there's a TV program, or not TV program, a TV thing called, oh wait a minute, this is Crundle, I know this. There's green lanes out this way, and byways, and there's a byway there. Gee, I might give that a go. This might have to be a two-parter. Yeah, I might have to take a bit of a wobble down here. Yeah, where else are we going? Freddie Spencer, absolute legend. What a lovely, lovely fella. Yeah, you know, they say don't meet your heroes, but in that case, completely and utterly overwhelmed by the guy. What a lovely bloke. But anyway, I'm probably going to end this video now, because I've just seen there's a byway here and it's not closed. So I'm going to end this, start a new little film, and you might see me either getting very muddy, very stuck, or having a whale of a time. Well, I'll be having a whale of a time either way. But yeah, anyway, YouTube, so if you got this far, thanks very much. Chuck a like or a comment so that I know that you like this sort of thing. But yeah, Jason Momoa on the Rome, well worth a watch. Highly recommended. Have a look at that. It was beautifully shot. Just a bloke with a load of mates having a good time, which is what motorcycling is all about. You know, out with your buddies, riding the bikes, and enjoying life. We're here once. Enjoy it. It's not a dress rehearsal. So get out and ride. If you can't ride because of the weather, because of your health, whatever, watch crappy videos on YouTube and then reminisce about the times when you were riding, and enjoy the rides vicariously through other like-minded people. Anyway, that's enough waffle from me. I'm going right off on a tangent now, aren't I? So, YouTube, thanks very much. Enjoy RSing about, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.